Remember when one movie star could stop you cold with a single glance? Before filters, before personal branding, before every face seemed polished into sameness, these men carried danger, grace, mystery, and that rare kind of screen presence you could feel from across the room. Tonight, we step back into that electric era to see where that unforgettable charm lives now. Before we continue, please tell us in the comments where you are watching from and what time it is there. It is always wonderful to see how far these memories travel and who is sharing them with us tonight. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp brought haunting unconventional beauty to 21 Jump Street and Edward Scissorhands, where dark eyes, sharp cheekbones, and a rebellious sensitivity made him impossible to forget. Now 62, he remains active in film while also giving more room to painting, music, and new ventures. The allure is quieter now, more eccentric, and still instantly recognizable. George Clooney. George Clooney came to represent polished male allure through ER and From Dusk Till Dawn, where easy confidence, warm authority, and effortless elegance turned him into a household fantasy. Now 64, he divides his time between acting, producing, directing, and a more statesman-like public life shaped by family and prestige work. He feels calmer now, but no less commanding. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen radiated dangerous bad boy appeal in Platoon and Wall Street, where a sharp jawline, cocky charisma, and reckless energy made him impossible to ignore. Now 60, he has been reintroducing himself through interviews, documentary work, and memoir-driven reflection while speaking more openly about sobriety. The image is less untouchable now, yet the voltage is still there. Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves carried a gentle but striking kind of handsomeness in Speed and The Matrix, where soulful eyes, quiet confidence, and thoughtful energy made him unforgettable. Now 61, he continues working steadily while balancing film projects with motorcycles, publishing, and other creative pursuits. Time has deepened the calm around him, and that timeless charm still seems completely intact. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson brought rugged, hard-edged magnetism to Lethal Weapon and Braveheart, where piercing blue eyes, a square jaw, and raw masculine intensity made him a sensation. Now 70, he continues acting, directing, and developing large-scale passion projects. His screen image feels more weathered and controversial now, but the force of his presence is still impossible to deny. Richard Gere. Richard Gere defined classical, sophisticated male allure in American Gigolo and Pretty Woman, where refined sensuality, a bright smile, and quiet confidence made him iconic. Now 76, he works more selectively while centering much of his later life on family and humanitarian causes. He still carries that elegant glow, with age adding more grace to what first made him magnetic. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck brought classic leading man magnetism to Good Will Hunting and Armageddon, where a square jaw, tall frame, and polished confidence turned him into a major dreamboat. Now 53, he balances acting with producing, directing, and executive work behind the scenes, shaping projects with greater control than ever. His later appeal feels more grounded, strategic, and quietly powerful. Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington brought calm, powerfully masculine handsomeness to Glory and the Pelican Brief, where a commanding gaze, polished authority, and soulful strength made him one of Hollywood's most admired leading men. Now 71, he remains active through selective screen and stage work with the same discipline that built his legacy. Age has not softened that authority, it has strengthened it. Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser brought warm, heroic charm to The Mummy and George of the Jungle, where a soft smile, athletic build, and approachable warmth made him an instant audience favorite. Now 57, he continues acting after a deeply moving resurgence, choosing projects that let his gentler presence shine. What once felt boyish now feels fuller, kinder, and emotionally richer. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe brought rugged, hard-edged handsomeness to LA, Confidential and Gladiator, where brooding intensity, masculine power, and weathered presence made him impossible to ignore. Now 61, he still takes on major screen projects while choosing his work more carefully than before. The appeal has grown heavier and rougher with time, but it remains deeply commanding all the same. Christian Bale. Christian Bale brought intensely disciplined magnetism to Little Women and American Psycho, where piercing eyes, chiseled features, and total commitment made him unforgettable. Now 52, he still works selectively while devoting major energy to his foster care village project in California. His later allure feels more private, purposeful, and self-possessed than it once did. Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant brought prince-like charm to 4 weddings and a funeral in Notting Hill, where a bright smile tousled appeal and that unmistakable voice turned him into a sensation. Now 65, he continues acting in sharper later roles that lean into wit and self-awareness. The charm remains, only drier, stranger, and more sophisticated now. James Spader. James Spader brought dangerously intelligent allure to Pretty in Pink and Sex, Lies and Videotape, where a cool smirk, sharp features, and silky voice made him unforgettable. Now 66, he remains famously private while returning selectively to major screen work. His appeal has aged into something icier, stranger, and even more distinctive than it was before. Matt Damon. Matt Damon brought smart, boyish charm to Good Will Hunting and The Talented Mr. Ripley, where a bright smile, emotional intelligence, and grounded confidence made him an instant audience favorite. Now 55, he still acts and produces while keeping humanitarian work close to his public identity. His appeal has matured into something steadier, warmer, and more genuinely lived in. Jude Law. Jude Law brought sculpted classical handsomeness to The Talented Mr. Ripley and The Holiday, where sharp cheekbones, cool elegance, and effortless confidence turned him into a sensation. Now 53, he continues acting in major projects while keeping his private life more grounded. The later appeal feels calmer, wiser, and more quietly self-possessed than ever before. Colin Firth. Colin Firth embodied refined classical handsomeness in Pride and Prejudice and Bridget Jones's Diary, where polished elegance, quiet longing, and a beautifully restrained gaze made him a global obsession. Now 65, he remains active in high-profile work while choosing roles with greater gravity. He stays elegant and iconic, with maturity adding calm authority to every appearance. Edward Norton. Edward Norton brought sharply handsome intensity to Fight Club and American History X, where lean features, smoldering restraint, and restless intelligence made him one of cinema's most magnetic, unconventional leading men. Now 56, he balances selective acting with advocacy and environmental work. His later presence feels more cerebral, composed, and quietly influential than openly seductive. Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor brought dreamy romantic handsomeness to Trainspotting and Moulin Rouge, where soulful eyes, rebellious softness, and adventurous energy made him unforgettable. Now 55, he continues acting while also pouring heart into travel projects and creative collaborations. His appeal feels freer, wiser, and more quietly adventurous now, with warmth replacing some of that youthful recklessness. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg brought athletic all-American handsomeness to Boogie Nights and Fear, where a sculpted physique, restless energy, and cocky edge turned him into a striking movie star. Now 54, he continues acting while balancing producing and a growing business life away from the camera. His later image feels tougher, more controlled, and built on endurance. Andrew McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy brought soft-eyed heartthrob charm to Pretty in Pink and St. Elmo's Fire, where romantic vulnerability and thoughtful reserve made him one of the most adored stars of his era. Now 63, he has built a respected second act as a director, travel writer, and author. His charm remains, now shaped by reflection, wit, and maturity. Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas brought dark, velvety movie star magnetism to Desperado and The Mask of Zorro, where feline confidence, dark eyes, and a seductive voice turned him into pure screen fantasy. Now 65, he still acts while devoting much of his passion to his theatre in Malaga and stage productions. His appeal feels more grounded, cultured, and deeply personal now. John Stamos. John Stamos brought photogenic, easygoing heartthrob charm to Full House and ER, where thick hair, a bright smile, and natural warmth turned him into a household fantasy. Now 62, he still acts and performs while balancing family life, nostalgia, and new writings centered on fatherhood and growth. His appeal feels warmer today, rooted in affection, humor, and familiarity. Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart carried commanding classical handsomeness through Star Trek and X-Men, where a resonant voice, intelligent gaze, and lasting authority made him unforgettable. Now 85, he continues working across stage and screen with the same discipline and wit that defined his prime. He carries even greater authority now, and age has only made that remarkable presence feel more monumental. Cary Elwes. Cary Elwes brought storybook romantic appeal to The Princess Bride and Robin Hood. Men in Tights, where silky hair, sharp cheekbones, and dashing charm made him a standout crush. Now 63, he still acts while keeping that legacy alive through major studio work and fan events. His charm remains warm, playful, and beautifully seasoned by time. Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton brought aristocratic, dangerous elegance to The Living Daylights and License to Kill, where a piercing gaze, refined voice, and serious allure made him a uniquely romantic Bond crush. Now 80, he works selectively and lives more quietly, never chasing constant visibility. He remains distinguished and magnetic, with age deepening the mystery that always set him apart. Noah Weil. Noah Weil brought warm, intelligent leading man charm to ER and The Librarian, where thoughtful energy, calm presence, and approachable authority made him one of television's most appealing stars. Now 54, he remains deeply active through The Pit as both actor and executive producer. His later appeal feels steadier, wiser, and more creatively authoritative than before. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman brought wild, lovable teen idol energy to The Goonies and Stand By Me, where an expressive face, quick wit, and chaotic spark made him unforgettable. Now 54, he remains visible through nostalgia tours, music, and reunion events that reconnect him with longtime fans. His later life aura feels more fragile and weathered, yet still emotionally immediate. Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill brought bright boy-next-door charm to Star Wars, where youthful sincerity, an open smile, and warm spirit turned him into a generational icon. Now 74, he still acts and does voice work while staying closely connected to fans through appearances and franchise culture. His charm remains, now carried by wit, gratitude, and legendary status. Don Johnson. Don Johnson brought sun-kissed alpha male swagger to Miami Vice and Nash Bridges, where tousled hair, a sly grin, and relaxed cool turned him into the ultimate stylish television crush. Now 76, he remains associated with later career work and a steadier family-centered life. His appeal feels looser, wiser, and rooted in relaxed star confidence. Scott Bakula. Scott Bakula brought trustworthy boy next-door charm to Quantum Leap and Star Trek. Enterprise, where a warm smile, steady presence, and approachable masculinity made him instantly easy to love. Now 71, he keeps a relatively low profile while still delighting fans through appearances tied to his lasting television legacy. His charm remains grounded, dependable, and remarkably intact. Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn brought battle-tested rugged masculinity to The Terminator and Aliens, where an intense gaze, hard-edged realism, and no-frills toughness made him feel more real than glamorous. Now 69, he works more quietly through independent films and fan events tied to genre culture. His appeal has matured into something rougher, tougher, and still deeply authentic. Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio brought boyish underdog charm to The Karate Kid, where a bright smile, gentle eyes, and youthful sincerity made him one of the most innocent crushes of his era. Now 64, he remains closely tied to that legacy through Cobra Kai and continued Karate Kid stories. His charm stays warmly iconic, with maturity adding gratitude and easy grace. Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson brought rebellious bad boy allure to The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire, where an intense stare, messy hair, and restless swagger turned teenage defiance into pure screen magnetism. Now 66, he continues working as an actor and voice performer while keeping a lower profile. His later image feels less reckless, more reflective, and still unmistakably sharp. Billy Campbell. Billy Campbell brought old-school screen appeal to The Rocketeer and Once and Again, where classic features, calm confidence, and gentle masculinity made him especially memorable. Now 66, he still acts steadily while choosing projects without chasing constant spotlight. His appeal has aged beautifully into something quieter, steadier, and more distinguished, with the same grounded ease. Rupert Everett. Rupert Everett brought cool European heartthrob elegance to My Best Friend's Wedding and Another Country, where cultivated wit, stylish mystery, and patrician charm gave him a uniquely sophisticated screen aura. Now 66, he still acts while writing has become a major creative outlet too. His later appeal feels sharper, more literary, and intellectually seductive in a lasting way. David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff brought larger-than-life television charm to Knight Rider and Baywatch, where broad shoulders, a tanned glow, and an easy grin made him impossible to ignore. Now 73, he leans into his pop culture legacy through music, branding, and nostalgia-driven projects that keep him close to fans. His charm remains playful, self-aware, and unmistakably durable. Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon brought brooding bad boy allure to The Outsiders and Drugstore Cowboy, where rebellious masculinity, brooding eyes, and restless energy made him one of Hollywood's most magnetic rebels. Now 62, he remains active through prestige film work while choosing projects with care. His appeal has aged into something leaner, tougher, and unexpectedly enduring over time. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke brought dreamy, thoughtful, romantic handsomeness to Before Sunrise and Reality Bites, where expressive eyes, poetic sensitivity, and curious intelligence made him unforgettable to a generation. Now 55, he still acts constantly while also writing and directing with restless creative energy. His later charm feels more reflective, more searching, and deeply alive with artistic purpose. Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Hall brought real, lovable, everyman charm to 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club, where bright eyes, awkward sweetness, and relatable warmth made him the kind of crush who felt real. Now 57, he continues acting in tougher adult roles on screen. His later image feels more solid, seasoned, and quietly commanding than it did in youth. Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen brought gentle, emotionally charged screen authority to Apocalypse Now and The West Wing, where soulful intensity, expressive warmth, and moral gravitas made him unforgettable. Now 85, he remains a revered elder figure whose later years reflect activism, reflection, and selective work. His appeal has matured into something softer, wiser, and deeply humane without losing power. Franco Nero. Franco Nero brought rugged European screen magnetism to Django and Camelot, where piercing blue eyes, brooding masculinity, and continental mystique turned him into one of Europe's most memorable crushes. Now 84, he remains active while enjoying fresh recognition for a career that never fully slowed. He stays distinguished, remarkably vital, and even more legendary with age. Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline brought handsome sophistication to A Fish Called Wanda and In and Out, where dry wit, intelligent eyes, and polished confidence made him a distinctly grown-up kind of crush. Now 78, he still appears in new work while choosing projects with elegance and care. His later appeal feels refined, self-assured, and beautifully sustained by craft. John Rhys Davies. John Rhys Davies brought larger-than-life old-school masculinity to Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Lord of the Rings, where a booming voice, powerful build, and adventurous spirit made him impossible to ignore. Now 81, he stays connected to fans through conventions and selective projects. His charm remains grand, witty, and warmly legendary. Michael York. Michael York brought refined aristocratic charm to Cabaret and Logan's Run, where elegant features, a velvety voice, and cultivated intelligence made him one of the most graceful screen crushes of his era. Now 84, he still appears occasionally and remains visible through interviews and public appearances. His appeal feels graceful, cultivated, and rooted in intelligence as much as beauty. William Roach. William Roach brought steady television charm to Coronation Street, where composed features, thoughtful eyes, and reassuring warmth made viewers deeply attached to him. Now 93, he is still playing Ken Barlow, turning his later years into a remarkable story of stamina and continuity. His appeal now feels rooted in endurance, routine, and the quiet dignity of television history. Elliot Gould. Elliot Gould brought charismatic, soulful allure to MASH and Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, where loose, cool, intelligent melancholy and a distinctive voice made him unforgettable. Now 87, he appears more selectively and is cherished as a lasting face of classic American cinema. His charm remains softened by time, yet still deeply human and magnetic. George Chakiris. George Chakiris brought dancer's grace and romantic allure to West Side Story, where striking features, polished glamour, and smoldering confidence made him a standout crush. Now 91, he lives more quietly while staying connected to admirers through his official site and jewelry work. His appeal has aged into something elegant, artistic, and beautifully self-styled. Russ Tamblyn. Russ Tamblyn brought energetic, acrobatic charm to West Side Story and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, where athletic grace, youthful exuberance, and kinetic presence made him unforgettable to musical film fans. Now 91, he enjoys a quieter later life, shaped by retrospectives and appreciation for his long career. His aura feels peaceful, playful, and warmly cherished. Hal Linden. Hal Linden brought dignified, intelligent charm to Barney Miller and the Rothschilds, where composed presence, thoughtful eyes, and dry warmth made him deeply admired. Now 95, he He remains respected for a life in acting, music, and stage work, with later appearances reminding viewers of his remarkable longevity. His appeal feels gracious, seasoned, and grounded in lifelong professionalism. Judd Hirsch. Judd Hirsch brought warm, intelligent, everyman charisma to Taxi and Ordinary People, where expressive warmth, sharp wit, and emotional depth made him quietly unforgettable. Now 91, he continues working occasionally while carrying the same instinctive humanity that defined his best performances. His later image feels frailer but still bright with wit, warmth, and veteran grace. Lawrence Luckinbill. Lawrence Luckinbill brought intelligent theatrical sophistication to The Boys in the Band and Star Trek V, where a commanding voice, cultured intensity, and stage-bred presence gave him a distinctive cerebral appeal. Now 91, his later legacy is closely tied to writing, directing, and one-man theatre. His charm feels thoughtful, literary, and rooted in artistic seriousness. Jamie Farr. Jamie Farr brought gentle comic charm to MASH and After MASH, where lively spirit, warm humour, and lovable sincerity made him a treasured television favourite. Now 91, his public legacy remains closely tied to clinger, nostalgia, and television history cherished by longtime viewers. His appeal stays soft, familiar, and instantly endearing, with age only making that warmth feel even more precious. Monty Markham. Monty Markham brought square-jawed classic leading man appeal to The Second 100 Years and Perry Mason, where steady confidence, reliable masculinity, and understated polish made him instantly trustworthy. Now 90, his later career is also defined by directing, producing, and documentary work across television. His appeal has matured into something sturdy, seasoned, and built on craft rather than glamour. Paul Dooley. Paul Dooley brought warm, quietly lovable screen charm to Breaking Away and 16 Candles, where easy humour, gentle features, and natural humanity made him quietly unforgettable. Now 98, his long career is remembered through acting, writing, and children's television work that reached generations. His later life aura feels tender, witty, and beautifully enduring in the most unforced way. Adrian Paul. Adrian Paul brought cult action heartthrob allure to Highlander, the series, where long hair, an athletic build, and an intense stare turned him into a fantasy figure for adventure-loving viewers. Now 66, he stays active through sword events and humanitarian work for children. His later appeal feels more disciplined, nostalgic, and purpose-driven than ever before. Time may have softened their features, silvered their hair, and changed the rhythm of their lives, but the charm that once made hearts race never truly disappeared. They were never only handsome faces, they were feelings, memories, and moments. Tell us in the comments which one was your greatest crush, then and now.